hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host Iambranded.
He's already halfway in the door, so I'm gonna see what time it is with this guy. Mic'd up and on live on Legacy Showcase, my man Jay Hollins. What's up, bro?
What it do, bro? What's going on?
Hey man, come on, man. I should ask you that, man. You the one that's making sexual music for the ladies, man. I mean, what's up with you, sir?
Man, somebody got to do it, man. I'm trying to, I'm trying to restore the feeling, man. That's all. You know what I mean?
Lord, hey, can I give you some props up top? Cause yeah, I think you're doing that, sir. I think you are. So gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah,
Man, it's all love, man. Hey, and as a and I know you're one of the rising stars. I mean, I know you're not mainstream and established with 50 million records sold and stuff like that. But I appreciate you even calling in on time too, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think it's a lot of love when you can get an artist, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to get out there and get their business put out there that you actually called in on time. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Listen, man, we take our work very seriously over here, bro. You know what I mean? Like this is what we do. We didn't come to play, we came to win. So
that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So you know what, man? For the people out there that's just tuning in, getting to know Jay Hollins, I heard this track right here. I know you got some music that you just dropped on the 3rd of this month, right?
Absolutely. My album, This Is Me Volume 2, dropped on April 3rd. We still off and running with that, doing very well with that. And the track you just played is Heaven, which is the current single off of This Is Me Volume 2.
And people can go get that at like iTunes, Amazon, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, and you can buy it from iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, or you can just type in jhollins.com and you can buy it directly from the website. Whichever.
Oh, word. Y'all people out there, can y'all go do that right now, please? Can y'all? I mean, after hearing Heaven, I think they should just get it and enjoy it, right? I think it's time for them to get it in.
Yeah, it's time, ladies. We trying to restore the feeling. You know what I mean? It's something on that for the fellas too. I didn't forget the fellas, but we trying to restore the feeling. That's what we came for, bro.
Come on, Jay. Jay, you already know what time it is, because if the ladies feeling a certain way, it's only a plus for the guys, man. You know this.
All day.
You know this.
All day. All day.
Hey, man, for the people out there that's listening who's just now getting to know you, tell the listeners out there a little bit about yourself, bro.
Well, my name is Jay Hollins. I'm a hip-hop soul recording artist. I am I was weaned on soul music and blues by my mom and dad, but I grew up a hip hop kid, so that's where the whole hip hop soul title comes from. I spent some time signed to a major recording label. Opted out of that to be an indie artist, and here I am, man, putting out the music I want to put out, moving the way I want to move, and doing things the way that I think an artist should do it, and recording the music that I believe I should be recording, for me. So that's pretty much who Jay Hollins is, man.
I mean, looking at your bio, man, I mean, it looks like you did a lot of work with, folks like Mary J., Chucky Thompson, who's a dope producer, Grammy nominated, might I add, and just, a lot of folks on that lane. So, I mean, was this something that you felt like you wanted to do since birth? I mean, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean? Or you just kind of felt like, as you evolved, you just kind of felt like, hey, this is my calling. This is what I need to do.
Actually, no, I didn't early on feel like this is what I wanted to do at all. I was either going to play football, or I was either going to be an artist, because I was nice with a pen and a pencil, sketching and things like that. Okay. When I was younger. Music kind of came about. I mean, granted, I have been singing since I could talk, but I just, never took it serious. I was like, oh, okay, this is something I could do, and chicks like it. So, we'd be at the lunchroom table. My man would be beating on the table, rapping, and, I'd be singing, and we have, like, a crowd of chicks around the table, and that's what that was for. I never really thought about it past that. But then,
you had to do with the beatbox that went. You had all that going too, bro.
No, he didn't do that. He just beat on the table. He didn't beatbox. He played the beat on the table.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, he made the beat on the table.
Well, that's old school memories, man. That's old school memories, bro. People don't know nothing about that, though. They don't know you and only you and me, though. Only you and me. Maybe some of the listeners out there, man, but they don't know nothing about that.
You had to be creative, man. You had to be creative. You know, like wasn't no digital programs when I started out. You had to actually have keyboards and instruments. And, you know, the digital programs came later in 2000. We talking about the 90s, bro. So
straight up.
So yeah.
Straight up.
For that, like, you know, no. But after a while, you know, after you hear so many people tell you, like, yo, you really talented. Then a friend of mine named Ken showed me, like, how to put songs together and things like that. And I started trying my hand at that. And I got good at, like, song structure. And after some formal training, you know, in school and things like that, I'm like, yo, I can really do this. So I began to take it serious after a while. But it took me quite some time to take this thing serious because.
But how old were you, man? How old were you, Jay, before you decided, like, you know what, this is really where my 110% effort is going to take place? Like, how old were you when it really just registered?
Probably about 21.
Okay.
Yeah, probably about 21. Because I was just playing around and dabbling in it before then.
And you know what? That's an honest response because, you know, there's good singers out there, and they probably was in the same boat you was. Like, you know, maybe I was in my late teens, early 20s when I decided. But then, you know, some people want to lay it on extra thick. Yeah, I was like, you know, 2 years old or 3 years old, and I remember singing and stuff like that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's just real, like, okay, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate your honesty on that level because, I mean, sometimes it don't register until later on in your life when you figure out, okay, this is what I was put on this earth to do. Sometimes you get it when you younger. Sometimes you get it when you are a teenager. Sometimes you get it when you are in your 20s or even 30s.
Well, I mean, for me, I know it was my calling because this is pretty much how it happened for me. I've been singing since I could talk. Like, there was never a time where I wasn't singing, but, like, again, I didn't take it serious. I began to take it serious around age 21, like, really serious, and I had a record deal at age 23. So, you know, if that doesn't let you know this is your calling, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, I definitely didn't ignore the signs there. You know?
No doubt. Jay Hollins is our guest on Legacy Showcase. And, I mean, do you always kick yourself and be like, man, if I would have applied myself when I was, 12, 13, 14, you know, maybe I would have been a little further off?
No. I mean, I'm a firm believer in everything, everything in its time and place. Everything in its proper time and place. So I think I began to take this thing serious when I should have taken it serious, you know.
Got you.
And that's kind of that, you know. There wasn't no more to it. Like, man, if I would have did this when I was 12, it's like, nah, everything in its proper time and place. I had to go through what I went through. I mean, because, like, you know, I spent my teenage years and a lot of that, you know, running the streets and in the streets. And then, you know, when I decided to make that transition, everything happened for me so quick. To where it's like, okay, and I think it was, so, I mean, not to sound all cliche, I definitely think it was a higher calling or a higher power that was opening those doors for me and letting me know, like, look, stay away from that, and this is what's going to happen for you. So
right. I mean, and as a new fan listening to your music, because like I said, shout out to Denia, who put me on to you, bro. Like, you know, I didn't know who you were until, you know, she put me on, and when I listened, I mean, you know, and as a guy who loves music, I mean, I got that passion for it like you do, in a sense where it's just like, you know, I love music. Before it felt like, you know, even you go back 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, before I was even born. You know what I'm saying? And it still stirs me up on the inside. I mean, to me, it always feels that way. But I always feel like this when it comes to artists. Like, I always feel like if you really got that passion, if it's really inside you to do, a lot of us who appreciates good music is gonna tell. And I could tell, you're a student of music just by listening to this single right here, Heaven, which is available on iTunes.
Man,
People can go pick it up as well. You know what I mean? So, off top.
appreciate
So
it,
let
bro.
me ask you this. Jay Hollins is our guest on Legacy Showcase. When it comes to this game, and it's just like I said earlier, there's like, 100 million R&B soul singers, hip-hop artists, et cetera, et cetera. What makes you that guy that can stand out amongst everybody else?
Well, my whole thing is hustle over hype, and the thing is,
Okay.
like, I've always been like, I'm a press play type of guy, and what I mean
Mhm.
by that, I don't really have to do much in the way of, oh, I'm better than this guy, or I'm better than this, and this is why you should listen to me. And or here's my thing. It's as simple as this. Like, I know what I do is very organic, the work, and I know what I put into the work. So a lot of times, all I have to do, 99.9% of the time, all I have to do is let the work and the performances speak for themselves. So when I give you a CD or when I send you music, I'm content that when you press play, you'll know what it is with me. It's really that simple. You'll know what it is with me when you press play. When you come see my live performance and you see me rock out, live show, live band, you'll know what it is with me. I don't really have to do the song and dance that I'm hotter than everyone else. You know what I mean?
Right.
I let the work, I let my work speak. That's it. Like, and that's always how I answer that question. I'm like,
Let me.
my. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. Let me ask you this then, because I believe what you just said. I hear it coming out your mouth, and I believe it. So my next question is, why is it that the other 100 million people out there that's doing what you're doing don't come across believable? Why is it that there's so many people out there that's trying to take in my opinion, a God-given talent that you have, or anybody really that's established that really cares about the art form of music? Why do they take it and just mold it and shape it into something that's just not real?
Well, here's the thing. I swear it's funny. My wife and I were just discussing this. We were just discussing this morning. I said, the truth is always a harder sell than a lie. Everybody
Mm.
believes a lie because it's easily believable. The truth
Right.
people have to be convinced of. I don't know
Wow.
why it's that way. It's just always been that way, and that's what it is. Like, you really have to convince people of the truth. You know what I mean? Think about
Mm.
how many times that you really had, this is what it is, and a person will argue you up and down because they have been taught to believe a lie. You understand what
Mm.
I mean? Belief is strong, whether it's true or not. Belief is really
Right.
strong. So lies are packaged up, and they're sold in pretty little packages and things like that. The truth is more of a hard sell, and that's basically what it boils down to. And
Mm.
I'm okay with being the truth, and I'm okay with being me. I mean, this is why this project is called This Is Me, because this is really me. Like, it's pure, unadulterated me as an artist. There are songs on there that's going to let you know me as a person, which I've never really done before on any project I've worked on. I've never
Right.
been this personal on anything. So you hit a project, there's some very personal songs where I open my life up to people. So I don't have a
And
problem
you're
with that.
not doing it for the bells and whistles. I mean, you're doing it because you feel like you have a gift to give, and if it just turns into something personal, it just does, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I
And
never sat down and wrote a record and said, oh, I'm going to make this record about this. It's like I heard the joint and I picked up my pen and this is where I went. That was pretty much it.
got you. I got you. Makes sense. Jay Hollins is our guest on Legacy Showcase, and let me ask you, with this digital media stream of things that we have going on, and so many people were, cutting corners, I guess you could say, as far as musically, was never like that when we were growing up, for the most part.
No,
Um,
no.
what is your opinion on it, and how much responsibility is now on the fans to be able to not just purchase your CD and play it, but also not to share it in a way where it's just like, I guess the responsibility comes more with the fans really just going out there, authentic fans that will go support it, as opposed to the people that just, that's just lazy and just want to find it on YouTube or whatever it is to go get it. How much responsibility brings the fans into this, the music game more so now than ever?
I think that part of it is on the fans, and I always say I'm fortunate enough to have a predominantly female fan base, because women, for some reason, always want their own. It's not like, it's like, okay, if you buy an album, I'll be like, man, that's dope. Let me get that. Oh man, I burn it for you. Women, they don't want you to burn it for them. They're like, okay, that's hers. I want my own. And
yeah,
it's
you're right.
something about women, they want that. It's like, guys will share music all day. Women is like, that's cool. No, honey, you keep your CD. I'm going to go get my own. You know what I mean? And so I think I love with the genre of music that I do. I lucked out there, but I do think the responsibility, some of it does fall on the fan. Once you're in the know, and you know how to find the music that you want, and you know that this is how this artist is trying to eat. And I always make it's like, if you want your home painted, you pay a painter. If you want landscaping done, you pay a landscaper. If you want to hear singing, you pay for a singer. So why would you, go, like, if now, if he's giving it to you for free, that's one thing. But if he's like, hey, I got this here, go purchase it, the average CD on iTunes is anywhere from $9.99 to $13.99. We spend that on nothing. You know what I mean? We spend that on absolutely nothing.
You're right.
I mean, hell, I just left the store, and I just spent $14 and I can't even tell you on what. I'm sitting here with a bottle of water, and a can of shelled pistachios, and that's $14. So you know what I mean? That's the CD. You know what I mean? So I do think that responsibility falls on a particular artist fan base. When fans say, hey, man, he should be or she should be, well, you help them get there by going and supporting their work. If you really like what you hear, and you're sitting on Facebook anyway, and there's a link right there, say, hey, click here to get my music. Click there and get the music. You help catapult what you want to hear into the forefront.
Yep. Let me ask you this, though. While saying that, in the sense now that it's so important for other fan base members or people that just support you and appreciate the work that you do, is it important for us? Like, I'm a new fan. Like, I want to share it. And when I say share, I'm talking about share the link to iTunes, because This Is Me Volume 2 by Jay Hollins is available now. You can go get it on iTunes, Amazon, or go to the website, jhollins.com. Like, I want to share that with people and get at. And do you feel like each person that purchases and or supports you should do the same thing?
That in a perfect world, yes. But we know the world's not perfect.
Yeah, word. True.
So, and I even set it up. When you go to jhollins.com, if you click the Buy Now option, you can stream the entire album. You just can't take it anywhere. You can stream the entire album before you buy it. Then I set it up that way. I could have set up snippets. You know how they do on iTunes. If you go to iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, it's all snippets. They give you about, probably about a minute of each song.
It's not even that. Probably less than that, 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can go to jhollins.com and stream the entire album, and then decide if it's something you want to purchase. You know, I even set it up like that because I want people to hear the work. Because I know I spent 15 months working on this album and recorded 30 songs, and 13 of them are on the record.
Right on, bro. Right on. That's heavy, man. I mean, you know, I like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, at the end of it all, like you just really, I mean, you just really doing a lot of stuff for the people, which I respect wholeheartedly. And that's why, you know, like I said, to me, it's so many people out there doing music, but there's so many people out there that's, in my opinion, doing it for the wrong reason, not just for, you know, they may have some talent, but they even misuse their talent. Do you see that more so than ever before now, coming out of the 90s, going into the millennium 2000 and on?
Absolutely. I always say music is the new basketball. Remember the 90s, everybody thought they was a hooper?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay,
You know,
okay. Good analogy.
Everybody was going to the NBA, which we knew better. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Music is the new basketball, and you know, I always say the digital age is a gift and a curse. I started doing music when it took money to do music. You really had to invest. You had to scrape up your little tools and crews, and studio time was not. So when you went to studio, you had a whole rehearsed record. You knew how it was going to be arranged. You spent 6 hours in there, probably spent money on another 4 to 6 hours getting the record mixed, and it was a craft. You know, the digital age is kind of like, you know, the microwave. You know, you can microwave records now. And a lot of records, not all records, a lot of records sound microwave. They sound like, you know, they sound like they was placed in a toaster and popped up and thrown out there, you know. And that was the sound that I did not want for this. I wanted everything to be organic. Like, I'm a firm believer in organic artistry. I'm a guy who drives around and still listens to Jimi Hendrix and The Experience. I'm a huge Hendrix fan. You know what I mean? I just like organic feel of music, you know. That's just who I am, you know, and it's not a knock on anything else that's going on, but that's my take on music. It should always be organic. It should never be forced. You know what I mean? It should never be forced. If you're overthinking it, you're not making music.
Will we ever get to that point in time in our lives where, you know how it is, again, a lot of times a lot of people will tell me, man, you always go back to the old school days. And I'm like, in a way, yes, just for the simple fact that I loved music that was put out in the 60s and even in the 50s, and all that stuff was before I was even born, like I said earlier. Will we ever get to that point in time where people can be able to go back and listen to and appreciate what was actually put out? Like, they listen to a Jay Hollins song maybe 20, 25, 30 years. Will it have the same impact as a, say for instance, as a Jackson 5 album or a OJ's album or something like that? Will it have the same impact?
I think so. Because whatever music, I mean, you got to look at it, it's all relative. Whatever music you grew up with or whatever music your parents play around the house, you know, is what you're going to cling to. Like, even me right now, my son is 11. He listens to old Nas, he listens to old Jay-Z, this, that, and the other, but then he also has things that he likes, you know. He loves Drake, this, that, and the other. So, I mean, there's going to be what he's growing up to, and then there's going to be what he heard. It's no different than me. Like, I didn't grow up on Marvin Gaye, but my mom played a lot of Marvin Gaye. I didn't grow up on Bobby Blue Bland and Tyrone Davis, but my dad played a lot of that. I grew up on NWA and Nas and the Ghetto Boys, so it's all encompassing. So regardless of how we may feel about a particular style of music, if there's a kid who grew up that way, that's what they're going to cling to. If that's what they grew up, that's what they grew up listening to. It's all relative. So I definitely believe it's gonna be every bit as impactful. You know what I mean?
Isn't it more relatable? Isn't it more relatable? Certain songs will have that longevity, that impact. You know, versus, you know, like you. I mean, I grew up on the same thing, but like you know, you mentioned Bobby Blue Bland, you mentioned, you know, all the others like me. Like, you know, I didn't know Stevie Wonder had so many powerful songs and all this was like during a lot of his first early days. I mean, still powerful to this day, and that's just, learning, understanding, relating to the talent, and not just that, the words that was actually being sung and put down. It's kind of like, I always feel like this, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people who really don't appreciate the words and the effort that was put forth by a lot of people that was in the business before.
I think that comes with age and experience, though. You know what I mean? Because
True. Okay.
I listen to music differently now than I did when I was 15.
Okay. All right. Got you.
The Ghetto Boys. There's a song called Point of No Return, and I was just listening for the rage factor as a youth. But now when I go back and dissect the lyrics, and he said, what if it could work your beat, and mess with you in the ways that you mess with me. I underlined all your downfalls for you, catch you messing up and put the pound down on you, infest your neighborhood with a drug called hate, issue out your income and control your fate. You understand what I'm saying? So I wasn't able to dissect this as a young teenager, but I'm able to dissect this. I'm able to dissect Scarface's lyrics and be like, wow, this was brilliant. So
I feel you 100%.
Yeah, it comes with age and experience, bro. That's all.
No doubt. Jay Hollins, our guest on Legacy Showcase. A couple more quick ones before we let you go. People can go to jhollins.com and go pick up the new one. I'm telling you, y'all, go support it. I'm grassroots, old school type of dude. As soon as I heard it, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go on iTunes and go buy it. So I suggest y'all people to go do that. Follow this man on Twitter at Jay Hollins. And you got Instagram, was it J_Hollins?
Yep, at J_Hollins, yep.
Man, somebody took Jay Hollins, man. Did somebody take Jay Hollins on Instagram?
No. I have a cousin in North Carolina. We had the exact same name. So he was on Instagram before me. Like, we had the exact same name, same first name, same last name.
Okay, all right.
So he was on Instagram before me. So he's Jay Hollins. I'm J_Hollins.
All right, there you go. You can also hit him up on Facebook at Jay Hollins Music. And, hey, I was about to say, man, we was about to go put out the Instagram police to go see exactly what's going down. So, you can get that name back, though.
No, that's family. That's family. Don't jump on it, bro. That's family, man. That's family. Don't do it like that.
You can also go to youtube.com/Jay Hollins TV. And, with this project that you have out, and it's, it's growing wings, and it's barely been out 2 weeks, right? What's in store for you? I mean, you just going to run this to its course? What's the next plan for you?
Yeah,
touring? What's up?
Yeah, touring, spot dates. But my album release party is this Friday at Angels and Kings, Chicago, inside the Hard Rock Hotel, 230 North Michigan Avenue. So we'll be there 9 to 2. I'm actually getting ready to hop off the phone with you and walk into rehearsal with my band. So
there you go.
Yeah, we're going to knock that down. Got a lot of shows coming up, a lot more interviews, getting ready to start the mega push for Heaven, because it's getting a lot of traction. A lot of women are requesting that record. A lot of women love that record. So we're going to keep running with that. And
as a guy that loves women, as a guy that loves women, I'm glad that women love that. So, shout out to the ladies that like Heaven. For real.
Yes, sir. We trying to restore the feeling, my dude. That's all we can,
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Hey, man, I appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with the listeners out there. I'm a new supporter, like I said. Shout out once again to Mr. Naya Azure for, setting everything in motion.
Love her.
Real deal. Like, I'm glad she was able to link me in with your vibe, bro. Because like I said, at the end of the day, I appreciate rising stars continue to just rise and just be adaptable and acceptable and just accepting of all things that is, not just new fan base but media and all that good stuff, man. And I wish you nothing but the best going forward, bro.
Appreciate you, bro, man. I thank y'all for having me. Shout out to Denaya, and we're going to keep rocking, man. Make sure y'all pick up This Is Me too. jhollins.com, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, wherever you purchase your digital music, pick it up. You won't be disappointed, I promise.
Real talk, man. Hey, man, knock out a home run in that rehearsal, bro. Handle your business.
Man, appreciate it, bro.
Off top.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.